doing?
Good, how are you?
Thank you.
No worries. Hey, what's up guys? I'm gonna unbox and review this Baicycle Quest 1 e-bike. This thing comes in 3 different colors. I got the white version, also comes in a black and a gray color. And this is a foldable, beefy electric bike. That's the best way I could describe it. Alright, so we have the power supply, the regular plug right here, and it is 240 volts. Output's around 110 watts, just slightly under. And this is what the plug itself looks like. Okay, so we get the instructions, a whole bunch of info in here, and we get a little quick setup guide. Basically, you have to tighten a few things, put on the pedals, adjust the seat, and we're good to go. So here are the pedals. There's a little R and a little L right there. There's also the same R and L right here on the sticker. And here are the tools. It comes with a little Allen wrench and a wrench. And the bike comes with a pair of keys. So for the controls, we have our front disc brake and our rear disc brake. If I hold this button near my thumb, it will turn on the screen. The battery does need to be on for this to connect, and I'll show you guys that momentarily. But we get our speedometer, battery level, odometer, and PAS standing for pedal assist. It's currently set to 1. So 1 gives you the least amount of help, and gradually going up to 5 gives you the most amount of help. So it comes to a point where you're almost just like spinning your legs, but it's really not taking any effort. And it also makes it much easier to go up the hills. With the hills, it will require a bit of effort, but not too much. And pedal assist 0 is basically just like riding a normal bike. So if your battery were to die, you could actually just ride this like a normal bike, which would be a great workout because this bike is decently heavy. Then we have our shifter right here, we have our horn, and then we have our twist throttle right here. Okay, so now I want to focus on the screen. So if you hold the plus and minus button for about 2 or 3 seconds, it takes you to this hidden settings menu, and then you could basically change some stuff around if you want. So there's not a whole bunch here you could change, but you could change your units. You press the power button quickly, and then if you want to change it to kilometers, basically you could do that, or you could keep it in the imperial units. And then if you wanted to change it to kilometers, you basically press the power button, and then it says saved, and then you pretty much press the power button twice and it goes back into the menu. And then you could adjust the brightness and auto power off, how many minutes you want it to power off. By the way, this is the brightest that the screen goes. And load defaults if you want to do that. And the system info if you want to see the system info, the firmware version. And to basically get out of this menu, you hold the same plus and minus buttons again, and it takes you right back out of the menu. And currently I'm in kilometers per hour, as you guys could see. Let's talk about seat adjustments. So when the bike comes, it's unlocked, and I can actually open this up, and I can, pull up the seat or pull it down, and the markers have to show, so I can't go below a certain height, and I can't go above a certain height. So when I find the correct height, I push this back in and I lock it. So when I lock this now, I can't actually open this, which means I also can't remove the battery because the battery is basically the seat post. So that's what the key is for. So if I pop in the key, turn it left, bring it back, now it unlocks, and now I can pretty much adjust it again. So next, if we want to remove the battery, obviously this is unlocked. I open this up. So it's actually just moving this blue buckle. You just move it down and then you pull out. So it's really just this that you move. It's a twisting. And then when you're putting it in, you can actually just push it in, and it automatically twists and goes in and locks. But only when removing it. You got to hold it, twist it counterclockwise. While you're holding it, pull it out basically. And that's how you remove it. And then you can actually remove the battery like so. So underneath the saddle, that's where the main power button is. So this needs to be on for the bike to turn on. Without this, it won't. And this is in its off state, and this is where you basically plug it in to charge it. Alright, so putting back the battery in, again, you pick the height that you want, again, between the min and max values. You set that, you lock this so it can't be opened again. you take this and you basically just push it in, and when you want to turn it on, you turn the power on, and then you could turn on the little screen in front of you and you're good to go. So next we're going to get into folding and unfolding, but just as a heads up, this bike is heavy, so even though it could be folded, it's not, it requires a little bit of strength to do just because of the sheer weight of the bike. So basically, you pull this up, open this, you put the kickstand up, and the easiest way is basically just either grabbing the handlebar or this portion right here. And also you gotta push in and bend the pedals as well. And yeah, you just bring it this way. And again, it's not super easy, but it's doable. And yeah, you can also open up the handlebar, but the handlebar kind of gets in the way when you're folding it. And yeah, there's that. Now to bring it back is, you know, it's not too hard. So that, like that, lock it in place, kickstand, pedals, done. So it doesn't take too long. It's just, it is on the heavier side, so just keep that in mind. And the cool thing about folding it is, you know, you could tuck it away and stuff. And you can also, again, open up the handlebar, but when you're folding it, the handlebar kind of gets in the way. But if you're storing it, you could just leave it like that as well. But again, if I was folding this, this would interfere with this. I'd have to lift this, and it would be getting really close to the seat post. And because in the packaging there was a lot of protection around it, so it's just kind of easier. But now that there's not much, or pretty much no protection around it, I don't want it to scrape everywhere basically. Alright guys, let's take a closer look. We'll start with this metal piece right here, and this is what actually attaches to this magnet right here when you're folding it to help it keep a little, just for it to be a little more secure in place. So we got the disc brakes. The tires are, the fat tires, 4-inch thick. I believe they're 26 inches. So you got the headlights. You could mount stuff here, basket or whatever you want to do. The front fork, so you could lock it or unlock it. Keep it in the open position. So if you're going to go off-roading, if you want some bounce, keep it in the open position. We got the reflector right there. So you could put a bottle holder right here if you wanted to. Folding mechanism. You got the pedal right here that if you push in and you fold during the folding, or if you just want to keep it that way, you could obviously bring it back when you're riding it. And chain, derailleur, I always mess up that word. So everything's legit. You got some protection right here. This part is uber beefy. I mean, this is part of the frame. If you notice, it comes right here. This welds here, and then this comes from here, and this is one piece. So I mean, this thing is super beefy. This is very useful. So if you want to put something in the back, and I believe it does carry more weight than the other e-bikes that I've reviewed, at least this portion of it. So I mean, this thing is a beefy frame. I mean, just in general, it is a pretty beefy frame. Yeah, so you got the disc brakes right there. You got another reflector. So for the headlights, when you turn that on, these red LEDs also turn on as well. Pedal assist 1. Let's go. Kicks in. Super easy to pedal. Top speed around 11 miles an hour. Let's go to pedal assist 2. Speeding up. Requiring the same amount of effort. Going around 13 miles an hour. Pedal assist 3, speeding up even further. Capping around 16 miles an hour. Pedal assist 4, going around 18 miles an hour. Super easy to pedal. And pedal assist 5. Alright, super easy, going around 20 miles an hour. I'm going on a slight uphill, but I mean, this bike is pushing me like crazy. So if I pedal too fast, what happens is it gets to the 20 miles an hour, and then the engine cuts off, or the motor cuts off. So it's almost like if I'm on pedal assist 5, I want to pedal pretty slowly. So one thing I noticed with this bike that's different from other e-bikes that I've reviewed is that the throttle only works if I'm on pedal assist 0. So on pedal assist 0, I can hold the twist throttle and it goes, no issue. But it only works on pedal assist 0. Once I go to pedal assist 1, on any of the pedal assist, the throttle is disabled. So it must be that by design. At first I was like, oh, is this thing broken or do I need to set a setting? It's like, no. I'm like, oh, let me try pedal assist 0. It's probably just for that. Now, as far as comfort level, this bike is pretty comfortable. I rode this last week and unfortunately my camera angle was kind of down. So while you could see what was going on, it was mostly being cut off right around here. So you couldn't really see the hills I was doing. I mean, only sometimes. So I'm re-recording this. But I had a really good experience with the bike itself. It's a solid bike. It feels like it's one piece. It doesn't actually feel like a foldable bike because it's very sturdy. The saddle is pretty comfortable. There is no back suspension, but there is a front suspension. Currently it's on lock, but I could open it up. I think it's on lock. I took it on some trails. That was pretty fun. But man, the grass or the whatever the plants had grown quite a bit. All right, we're gonna do a brake test. But one thing with electric bikes is that unless you're doing some crazy hills, and even with this one, I didn't even need to down gear, but I just leave it on the highest gear. I don't really need to down gear to make it easier, just because it's already super simple even with the highest gear. I just start with the highest gear and I pedal, whereas with the normal bike you don't want to start with the highest gear. So I'm gonna do another brake test. Look at this, and if I just stop, I could literally just stop on a dime. One thing that I've noticed with this is that the battery meter right here is more like a instant kind of, because it goes up and down based on if you're going fast or slow or going up a hill or not. It adjusts. I feel like it'd be better if it didn't do that. I feel like it'd be better if it just gave you the overall percentage rather than, oh, if you go at this speed, this is what you can expect. All right, so we'll just do a throttle run. So just gonna kick off and hold the throttle. And this is what you could expect with the throttle. Now, if you use a throttle, that's gonna kill your battery because, I mean, it's you're not pedaling, so you're not helping at all. So this is basically going to heat up your battery alive. But can you use it? Sure. Yeah, so I'm not gonna say this thing is super recommended for this. Oh, I should have put the suspension on the softer, on the open, but it's all right. It's not too bad. It actually would be a little bit softer if I opened that up. In fact, I will open it up right now. All right, so. Alright. Usually the grass or whatever this is, the plants, wouldn't be as high. So I'm wearing long pants. Oh, there's a bit of mud there. So you can go this way. And then I think this goes and then it connects over there. All right, so I mean it's still, you know, bumpy. Oh, we got a wild bunny. There's one that comes to my house almost every night. Look at the horses. There's a bunch of horses here. I feel like I'm in like Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, where you could like, or Breath of the Wild, where you could go and like get a horse. This hill is pretty high up. It might not look like that in the camera, but it is. I'm on the highest gear right here. I'm on the most pedal assist. Let's go up. All right, there we go. And there it is. Look at that. The first step, I had to give it a little push. Look at this. I mean, this bike is a beast. I was genuinely, I was thinking I was going to struggle a bit more on this hill, but no, apparently not. Beep, beep. Thank you. Look at this. It's literally a breeze. Like, I can talk all the way through. I'm not breathing heavily. I mean, it's just... The motor is really powerful on this thing. And I'll turn around so we could see how much I've actually climbed. Again, this is most likely going to kill my battery, but yeah, like that was like nothing. It was like nothing to go up this hill. All right. So this is the hill that we climbed. All right, let's summarize this bike. All right, so we'll start with comfort. Comfort is decently comfortable, no back suspension, saddle's pretty comfortable. So it's not too bad. I have been on more comfortable bikes, but for what this is, it's actually pretty good. Number 2, motor power, insane. Just insane. I literally started at the beginning of the hill and it took me up this hill without an issue. I mean, this is a super hill. Number 3, the braking power speaks for itself easily. I mean, I have to brake like not even too hard so I won't like skin the tires. I'm trying not to skin the tires, but the brakes are really good. The bike feels solid. It feels like it's one piece. It's just, it's crazy. It's literally just one piece. Even though it folds, it feels very sturdy. And because I tightened some of the stuff in the front, it's no longer making any noise, because last week when I rode it, it made a little bit of noise in the front and I was like, oh, maybe there's like a screw loose or a bolt loose or something. I tightened that went away. So really the only negative, if you want to call it that, it's just different, is this battery indicator where it just kind of goes up and down. So it doesn't really give me, we're gonna drop it off this curb again. So I felt that one more, just because the suspension was on lock. So it wasn't on open, otherwise it'd be softer. But again, not an issue. This bike's really good. I genuinely really like it. As long as you're not doing, you know, some crazy trails where you're like jumping off of stuff, things like that, you should be fine. For light trails, it's fine. For the streets, pavement, everything, it's pretty legit. You could open up the front suspension, so you can have a little more travel that way if you want to. But it's a legit bike. I really like it. So let me know what you guys think. Did you get one? Are you considering one? I mean, what are you guys looking for in a bike? And what's the most interesting, like, when you guys look for bike reviews, like, what is it that you're looking for in a bike review? Because for me, that's why I like to do the hills, because I really want to see, like, I just have, I guess, 3 things that I care about the most. Number 1 is the motor power. Number 2 are the brakes. And then number 3 is the comfort. And that's kind of what I try to focus on. And that's why I take it around. I take it to different places. I even took it on some trails just to try that out as well. But yeah, let me know in the comment section as well. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.